Daddy saw Mama while he was on the Greyhound bus waiting to get to Jacksonville, and the Greyhound bus picked Mother up in Lake Park. They had a love for one another, but they had a love for God.
Whenever she became ill, she fought it for as long as she could. And then she called me one day and she said, "Brenda, I'm ready for hospice." She loved her hospice nurses dearly, and they actually became family to her. She felt like they were just like the rest of her children.
The hospice concept was so new and people were afraid of it. We had to be taught to learn to communicate with our patients and just the community, to get some community support, to back us up for fundraising or whatever we did, whatever we need, just to let us in their homes. We did our training at South Georgia Medical Center, and then we started working out of a little closet in the hospital. in the basement. And then we moved up, I think, later on to a closet upstairs.
In the 1980s, when our nurses started providing hospice care here in South Georgia, things were very different then. All handwritten nurses' notes, no cell phones, no computers. Everything was done with basic care during that time. One thing that has always transferred through the years, even though technology has advanced, is that hospice is very much a very personal, relational type of care for our nurses particularly. When you go into someone's home, it's an opportunity to know the patient and the family in a way that you don't know them in an acute care, healthcare setting. So that part of it is very unique to hospice when care takes place in the person's home.
Daddy was able to be cared for with the same loving hands that had taken care of Mother, because at the hospice house, everyone takes care of the patients, from the wonderful nurses to the CNAs and helpers, to even the people in the kitchen that are preparing the food. You just feel love from everyone.
And as a volunteer, I found that there's so much to it. There's so much joy in visiting people and listening to their stories. Senior citizens that are at end of life, they have a lot to say. Sitting with patients was one of the most fulfilling things that I have ever done, and I enjoyed it immensely.
To think that we started so humbly in the basement of South Georgia Medical Center with a borrowed typewriter and a loaned secondhand file cabinet, and now we care for up to 70 patients on any given day. It is quite an advancement in care, but the heart of hospice remains the same.
The idea of hospice brought it back to making it a family affair, making things a little easier on the patient, on the person that was dying.
We just had the opportunity to use hospice when Larry's mother became terminally ill, and we were able to bring her as one of the first residents of hospice, and they were all very loving and caring and really took care of her, and we couldn't have asked for a better experience.
The family decision was that we wanted to make a donation to help the community with the hospice house. And after having done that, we realized that it was truly a great attribute to our community.
And to know that the hospice that we all worked hard from the beginning as volunteers, 30 years later is still going, and it's for nonprofit. And any person, regardless of ability to pay, can have hospice care. And that is what is so wonderful. And I just am honored and grateful that it's here. And thank you.
We belong to this community. We were founded by this community. We were established by the blood, sweat, and tears of this community. We are the hospice that belongs to Valdosta. We do not have investors. We do not have shareholders. If we have a positive year financially, those reserves are used to pour back into this program, to continue the good work, to continue to provide services such as our grief support program that is totally unreimbursed by any outside sources, solely by the contributions of this community. So we're dependent on this community, and it's a blessing to know that we belong to you, and we will continue to thrive because of you.